The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television. The original broadcast date is September 25th, 2020. And, I'm lost, everyone. My problem is I'm lost. I've had everything that I live for yanked away from me for the moment, and so I'm a little stir crazy tonight. Though, what we're going to do, we're going to have a call-in show, one of our good call-in shows where you call up and recommend stuff to binge watch while we're all in semi-lockdown. My co-host tonight is the lovely and talented Chad Harlan, who, if you're on high definition, if you look really closely, he's growing a little chin hair up there.
It's more neglect than trying to grow, but
now I'm going to pause everything right now. Now I'm getting a hell of a delay. Let's see if the audio catches up with him now. And my chat's not working. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Everybody. So anyway, what I was saying before is we're going to take your phone calls. We'll give you the phone number here in just a moment. We're going to talk about what we've been binge watching, what you can binge watch, or if you've watched a good horror movie, we would love a recommendation on that. Now, Chad, you've actually managed with some outside projects to stay fairly busy through all this.
I haven't slowed down much at all, but it's all work stuff. I don't get to do any fun stuff anymore. But being at home more, I have got to kind of binge my way through Shudder and Netflix. So I'm interested to hear what everybody's going to be telling us about tonight.
Now, first thing I'm going to start off with, Netflix has come up with what I will only describe as a train wreck. It is the worst thought out children's cartoon, anime, whatever the hell it is, in the history of children's cartoons, and that includes South Park. I'm just going to lump South Park in there as a children's cartoon. This Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous. We have watched... there were 3 movies in the first bunch, and they've done 2 in the second batch?
I think so.
Okay. You've got... So that's 5 movies telling you what a shithole of a dangerous place this island is. So, what are we going to do? We're going to have kids have day camp there. And I think it is just a ridiculous concept. And so far, the only person that's gotten eaten, though, and I'm like 2 episodes in, was somebody on a video game. They've not reflected the true terror that would be involved.
Well, in their defense, how many movies are there about summer camps where people get killed? And yet, there's always more kids going to summer camp. And Disney shows about it.
Not marketed to pre-puberty teens for the most part, though.
Meatballs.
Nobody died. That's all I'm going to say. Nobody died in Meatballs. So anyway, I've watched it and it maybe I've finally gotten old and just I can't enjoy children's stuff anymore. But the concept is just so outlandish that I would think that any 6-year-old that had seen any of the movies would be going, wow, this is just a really, really bad idea. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to watch chat tonight, so I'll have no idea what's going on behind our back.
When you said there was a train wreck on Netflix, I thought you were talking about Ratched.
I have not. I've seen some of the blurbs about it, but now, what have you watched it?
I
Tell
did.
me about it.
It's basically just a story of Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But I kept watching it, waiting for a climax or something to happen, and there was nothing. There was no real crescendo to it. I found it, and I'm seeing positive reviews, but I really just found it to be kind of a background story and not a lot of interest to it.
So in other words, it's like tonight's episode. It's filler. They needed something else to put on Netflix to put in that little new thing, and
the American Horror Story folks needed something to do awaiting the next season, because it's pretty much the whole same team.
Now, on the bright side, season 2 of The Boys is out, and I have to say that is my second favorite show that's streaming right now.
I haven't seen season 1, so
if you're okay. Of course, now I watch it because I'm a superhero fan. We've talked about that. I love the Avengers. When I was a kid, I read comic books. But if you are a horror fan, this show has plenty of blood and plenty of guts and plenty of people that would just rip Freddy's head off his shoulders and spit down his throat. I mean, that is, it is. I want to say it's a darker take even than the movie with the big blue guy in it.
The Avengers?
No,
the X-Men.
No, well, he did that. Okay, granted, they do have a big blue guy. God, I can't believe I can't remember the name of that. Anyway, they're even doing like on one of the pay networks. They've even brought it back. But anyway, it's
I know
it's very it's humorous, but it kind of goes back on that that take, what if Superman was a dick, that kind of thing, and about 9 out of 10 superheroes are dicks in this, and what happens when you have unlimited power and no one to stop you, and that's. But I wish they're doing that stuff where they released the Watchmen. Yes, Eric, thank you. The Watchmen was the movie I was trying to think of.
Dr. Manhattan,
the blue guy. But the whole concept of The Boys is. Oh God, I think I've explained it pretty well. Brightburn would be a movie that I haven't seen, but I've seen it reviewed enough times to know what it's about. But yeah, what if Superman really was a douchebag, and they announced this week they're doing a spinoff, which I'm looking forward to. But and the other thing I was going to bitch about, they're doing it where they release one episode a week. That give me the damned episode. So if I have time to watch, I'm all caught up now, and they released a new one I think on Friday night. So that kind of harks me off a little bit.
Yeah, that's an antiquated model now. But Jensen Ackles is moving over there, isn't he? From Supernatural.
You mean to the show?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought I saw where he was already lined up to move over to The Boys now that he's finishing up shooting.
I had not heard that. They announced their spinoff, and their spinoff is going to be a bunch of superhero kids in high school. Yes, it's been done, but not as having all the kids be douchebags and work for a big conglomerate drug company. So we'll see how that goes. But that's been my thing. We got one more I'll talk about when we come back. Now, if anyone would like to call in during the commercial break and make recommendations and talk to Chad and myself, the phone number is 859-298-3522. 859-298-3522. Tell us what you've been binge watching. Recommend a good horror movie on the streaming services. None of that HBO bullshit. If it doesn't fit into the cheap ones or the free ones, I'm not interested. Everybody, we'll be right back.
Spirit Mechanics is here to help. Their background includes many different specialties across the metaphysical spectrum, including alchemy, shamanism, Celtic witchcraft, angelic magic, astral travel, and more.
With over 30 years combined experience in the group, you can be confident in their ability to help. If there is a question you have that you cannot answer, they will do their best to assist you.
Metaphysics can be intimidating, confusing, and unfortunately, abused. Spirit Mechanics takes pride in being selfless in the pursuit of helping others, being humble and honest with their clients about their questions, and lastly, maintaining a professional and personable atmosphere. They want you to feel as you are coming to a close friend, and they will do everything in their power to make you comfortable and safe.
Hey, Scarefest fans. This week I'm going to give you a twofer, and they're both on Netflix. I always do that for Meredith because she always criticizes me for not telling. This week, it's a movie. The first one I enjoyed, and the sequel not so much. So in 2017, a little movie called The Babysitter came out on Netflix. Now, I never bothered to watch it because it looked awful. And it starred Bella Thorne, and I couldn't care less. A few weeks ago, the sequel premiered. And my friend Glenn had some nice things to say about the first one. I thought, oh, yeah, I'll check them both out. That's okay. And then I could do a twofer. Now, they're directed by Mick G. The screenplay for the original one was on the blacklist. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of a Hollywood term for unproduced great screenplays. Now, The Babysitter, 2017, directed by Mick G. It's horrible, but I enjoyed it so much. I don't know why. I really liked it. It's fun. I'll tell you why I liked it. It's the same reason why the second one, the sequel, is a piece of shit. It doesn't make any sense, really. Characters make the dumbest decisions ever. Basically, it's a kid who's afraid of everything named Cole, played by Judah Lewis, who has a fantastic babysitter, played by Samara Weaving. And she comes over, and then he stays awake and finds out that she's a Satanist, and they're going to sacrifice him or get his blood to be able to get whatever they want. And hijinks ensue from that point on. Not to give anything away, you find all that. The movie is awful with characterization. It is a lot of fun to watch. I laughed a lot through it. It has some twists and turns you don't quite see. Like I said, it makes stupid decisions. And it's directed by Mick G. Mick G is known for making a lot of shit. If you've ever seen Charlie's Angels or the world's worst Terminator movie, or one of. I haven't laughed this much at Mick G since We Are Marshall. Too soon? I'll tell you what holds this movie together, though. Really inventive screenplay by Brian Duffield. Judah Lewis is the little boy, and Samara Weaving, I'm telling you, she is phenomenal. She is in Guns Akimbo. Brian Duffield actually wrote another movie I really liked this year that I got shit on for, called Underwater. Why doesn't the sequel work? Well, the first one's an hour and 25 minutes, so it's about an hour and 22 without credits, which is just enough time to get in through it, breezy, never stops. Mick G and his manic directing. The second one is about an hour and 40. 15 to 20 minutes too much. And it's not written by the same guy, directed by the same person. And it has a lot less Samara Weaving. I don't want to give too much away. It is stupid. It is awful. Here's what you should do. If you want a good hour and 20-minute horror film as we're gearing up for horror comedy, as we're gearing up for Halloween, check out The Babysitter. If you want to not enjoy your night, and check out the sequel, The Babysitter, Killer Queen, or Witch, or whatever the hell it's called. It's awful. It's awful. Sequel's terrible. It's more of the same, only worse, and it makes even less sense, and it's convoluted. the things that you enjoyed in the first one are what's awful, and it's got a lot less Samara Weaving, whom I just can't say enough things about. She may be one of my new favorite actresses. She's fantastic. She's great. Anyway, check out The Babysitter. Skip the sequel unless you just really want to find out, and it's like a car accident, you gotta look, in which case you're probably, if you enjoy the first one, you're gonna watch the second one and go, meh, it's just low budget shit. However, I really enjoyed the first one, The Babysitter. It may be my favorite Mick G film. Check out The Babysitter. It's been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. Now, we do have our first caller on the line tonight, but before we get to our caller, I want to remind everybody, Wicked World is scheduled to open this weekend. Wicked World Scaregrounds. Check them out online, wickedworldscaregrounds.com, or if you don't want to type that much, 2 scary.com. Schedules, ticket prices, all that good stuff. And of course, that's where our own beloved Billy Crank will be now for the next 45 days or so. Jake Godbold, you old son of a bitch, welcome back to the show.
Hello, suckers. How are you?
Hey, Jake.
I'm just fine. Now, Jake, I was not kidding. After we get through Halloween, we're going to give you a segment of some type, and it's going to be called Jake Hates Everything.
I actually like some things.
Yeah, but see, that don't sell. That doesn't sell, Jake.
True.
We got to sell you. We have to do the corporate horror thing and give you an angle.
I thought that my angle was going to be torturing you with really bad movies.
That will also be part of it. But yeah,
there's a long line to do that though.
I will probably. We might kind of follow the angle I went with D.B. Dornack, and let you pick a movie that you either hate, and then I'll find a reason to like it, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But what is Jake? What you doing nowadays? What's keeping you entertained?
You actually stole my pick. I was going to recommend The Boys.
No, well, actually, but what do you like best about it?
I just like it because it just shows that superheroes can be dicks. So there you go.
Well, and to be highbrow about it, basically it gives everybody. Okay, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go on Facebook and just read posts for 5 minutes. It's if those people had superpowers, that would be a good way to explain the concept if you haven't seen it. I've been impressed. Of course, I think they've even upped the budget for them for season 2 because it did so well. But the special effects are wonderful. Okay, Jake, going back to season 1. Spoiler alert, everybody! When he took and did his eyeball thing on his what do you call her, the manager?
Yeah.
Did that kind of
Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue. She plays a part. Did you you're a tough nut, I know. Did you cringe or were you surprised when that happened?
I cringed because of how hokey her death was. Because all she just goes, and that was it. I was like, what? But I will tell you this: the part that did make me cringe. I started binge watching it on 9/11, and I got to the episode involving the plane, and I said, well, this is kind of awkward.
that was all timing, though.
I know.
But, yeah, but now, okay, when he takes out the Daredevil character, and I don't even remember what the superhero was called, but basically it was a character based on Daredevil, and everybody knows who Daredevil is. You didn't cringe when he took him out?
No. the only time when I cringed was during that plane sequence, but that was just a case of bad timing, like you said.
Yeah, that was an emotional cringe though. When he took out the Daredevil character, I went, "Oh my God! Why didn't anybody ever think of that in the 50 years that Daredevil's been a superhero?"
I think they have, but whatever.
Oh, have
it's
they?
all good.
Well,
if you really want to get cringy, you should read the comic. It's even worse than the TV show, especially the guy who is a parody of Iron Man. Because apparently he has a fetish that he wants to put his tallywhacker in everything.
I read about that. They're actually, I think that's a character they're supposed to introduce this season.
Maybe it's going to be Eccles. I don't know.
The guy, I mean, he could play the background part in it, so yeah. But I read about that in one of those little comic book Facebook things that acts like they know everything.
All right.
You guys are selling it. I'm going to have to tune in.
What'd you say, Chase?
I said you all are selling it. I'm going to have to tune in.
You should, man. It's pretty good stuff. I'm hoping someday, I don't see it ever happening, but I hope that Garth Ennis' book, who wrote The Boys, I hope his book Crossed becomes a TV show someday. Highly doubtful, but I'd like to see that.
It was named Clock?
It's called Crossed. Crossed.
Crocked. Okay.
Crossed.
What?
CROSSED.
Crossed.
Like a guard.
Yeah.
Crossing guard.
Okay.
No. I mean, it's crossed because it's basically, imagine The Walking Dead, okay? Except instead of zombies, you have people with absolutely zero empathy who do some of the most sadistic shit you've ever seen ever in a comic or what, like self mutilation, a lot of sexual assault, eating children. I mean, it's a pretty brutal comic, as Garth Ennis is known for.
Well, that's sort of been done. I know there's one on Shudder right now with a guy from The Walking Dead that sounds like a very similar concept for a movie. Now, series-wise, of course, nothing's been done.
I'll put it to you this way. One of the main villains in the series is called Horsecock, and he attacks people with a dismembered horsecock.
Well, yeah, they might have to dial that down a notch. I'll put it this way: if they can put what's the name of cuties online, they're not going to worry about horsecock. That's nothing.
I was actually kind of surprised when you were talking about Netflix and the car crash. I thought you were referring to cuties at first instead, whatever that Jurassic thing is.
No, see, okay. First of all, cuties I will not watch. Now, I'm not one of those. I don't boycott shit. I'm not that guy. It has to be really offensive for me to step away. But no, so I didn't like the previews, but I don't watch it for the same reason I don't go on TikTok. To me, TikTok is pedophilia for your phone. That's my opinion of what I've seen mostly on TikTok.
I just figured you were jealous you couldn't dance like that, but
I can dance I can't twerk for shit. But
Chad,
I will say I read an article. What's that, Jake?
I said, don't give him any ideas.
I will say I read an article today that Norman Reedus is set up a development company, and he's working with I think he's already with AMC to develop another comic book into a series. So I think he's doing a spin-off show of The Walking Dead with
him
they
and
announced
Carol.
that too, yeah.
Meh.
But he's got a secondary project apparently where he's developing another comic book that's, according to what he said in the article, is dark alternative content. So I wasn't familiar with the so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
I want nothing to do with it. I'm so burnt out on Norman Reedus and Walking Dead. I'm tapping out. It's a
his
miracle
motorcycle show was good.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Now see, okay, now I got burnt out on The Walking Dead, but now they have brought me back into the fold. Now I've not, of course, I'm watching on Netflix, so I'm a season behind, but I don't see the objection to it. I realize it's not hardcore horror, and by now the zombie should have rotted. I'll grant you that, but I think they keep it moving along at a pretty brisk pace to make it worth keeping up with.
I lost interest too.
I just can't do zombie films anymore. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So I'll be glad to see it go.
I just got to the point I didn't care about the characters anymore, so there was no appeal anymore.
I saw the season finale of the first season. I said I was done. I take that back. I did see Negan pop out Glenn's eye, and then I said, okay, well, I'm good.
Okay, everybody, we're at the half-hour mark. We're going to take our commercial break. We will be right back with more Scarefest Television after this. Mama Ruby offers fun vendor-based events that focus primarily on the metaphysical and spiritual aspects of our lives. Well, 2020 didn't go as planned, to say the least. Since Mama Ruby's can't bring the vendors to you in person, they still encourage you to support them online. For links to these and other outstanding artists, craftspeople, vendors, and psychics, visit mamarubies.com and click shop.
Horror. Movie. Fans. 4. Life. Find us. 4 News. 4 Memes. 4 Life.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
What was in that box? Audiences got the gruesome answer to that question this week back in 1995 with the release of Seven. Seven follows the story of 2 homicide detectives as they track down a serial killer who is using the 7 deadly sins as his motive. As the detectives get closer to finding the killer gets closer to the detectives, ultimately ending in a fate they never could have imagined. Upon its release, Seven was well received by critics and audiences who praised the film for its stellar performances, dark style, brutality, and haunting ending. Although largely ignored upon its initial release back in 1975, the Rocky Horror Picture Show quickly picked up momentum and has gone on to become a cultural phenomenon and well-loved cult classic. Rocky Horror is centered around a newly engaged couple who become stranded near a castle and seek help from its occupants. The head of the castle is a sweet alien transvestite named Dr. Frank Infurter, and on this night he and his bizarre entourage are celebrating his latest creation. Thanks to its catchy songs, homage to horror B-movies, and of course, Frank Infurter himself, Rocky Horror has gone on to have a huge international cult following and is seen by many as the greatest musical film of all time.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. Chad Harlan and myself are talking right now to Mr. Jake Godbold, who is just an absolute legend around the Scarefest and Scarefest fan group. Now, in the chat room, something they've been talking about. Have you gentlemen watched Cobra Kai?
I have.
Love it. Love it.
Jake and me agree on something. Unfucking believable.
I think
Honestly,
that it has. I think the fight at the end of season 2 is one of the best I've ever seen.
you know, I thought that for a TV fight, choreographed fight scene, they kind of rocked that. I mean, it was, well, I'd say Hollywood quality, because it ain't like they filmed this stuff in Falmouth, Kentucky, but, yeah, the fights, it was almost overdone, though, because now I will say, I sat there the entire time going, where are the damn teachers? Where is the principal? You know, don't this, you know, in today's modern world, this is not a small high school. Why isn't it crawling with, crossing guards and officers? And finally, about 3 minutes in, I'm like, you know, the cops should be there by now.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, there was that one teacher who tried to help, and he said, I don't get paid enough for this. So he left.
But, well, I'm going to say, the teacher should be out there screaming even if they don't intercede, even if they don't actually physically get in the middle of it.
You can't do that anymore. You get shot.
I'm showing my age. Back a day when we were all packing.
That was what occurred to me during that is, how does a fight go this far in a public space and nobody got shot?
Why, Chad? Because the plot said so.
The whole
I don't think it would be a very interesting. I don't think it would have been a very interesting scene if all of a sudden 5 minutes into the fight it got broken up.
Yeah, but a little realism never hurt anybody. I mean, even if somebody didn't shoot somebody would have popped a cap in the air, just to draw the attention to themselves or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it would have been
that.
It would have been more realistic if it happened in some setting other than a school, because the school has so much security now.
Yeah. Now, one thing. Now, this is another one. It was actually not a gripe, it's a compliment. I can say that Cobra Kai is the closest that I've come to binge watching anything for a long time. I burned through season 2 in like 3 nights. I just could not get enough of it. Season 1, pretty much the same thing. So yeah, everybody, if you've not watched Cobra Kai on Netflix, right? You're missing it. If the Karate Kid, if you even liked that movie when you were 5 years old, you will just absolutely love Cobra Kai. Now here's another one I've been watching. What We Do in the Shadows. Season 2 has finally come out on Hulu. Actually, it's been out a while, but I kind of forgot about it, I'll admit.
It's one of my favorite shows.
Second
haven't
best
watched it.
written. Oh, you haven't? Oh, Jake, you would love it, and I'll tell you why you would love it, Jake. First of all, it doesn't take itself seriously. But the other thing is, Chad, tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think that as far as the popular stuff streaming right now, that is probably the second best written show on TV.
Yeah, I think it's up there. It's clever. It's funny. Like you said, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's openly a horror or vampire version of The Office, where they break the fourth wall and talk to the audience all the time. It's well done, and it's hilarious.
The I think, and this once again shows my personality type. They speak about murder in such a casual fashion. It's, the episode, gosh, it was episode 1 or 2 that, of the season that they started off. Oh, it was the one where it was episode 1 because they were talking about all the familiars that had died. And they were so casual about it. And, one of them forgot, the familiar, and she told him how he died, and so, oh yeah, I remember him. So yeah, that is still and not that it helps any, but if I could get those people from that show booked to the Scarefest, that would be probably my supreme achievement, and I would probably just quit and rest on my laurels.
I love the movie too, but it's one of the few cases, I think, where I think the series is better than the movie was.
It's better in that they've got more room to stretch out. I mean, let's face it, the movie which was filmed as a mockumentary, so they, in other words, they had to fit. It's hard to tell what they threw on the cutting room floor to do that. Yeah. That might be what we're watching the hell now. Who knows? But that would be the only reason I almost want to not compare it, because they kept it moving along at a good clip. They had a story to tell. Basically, to me, though, the movie was just a 1-hour version of this show, or hour and a half, whatever it was. In other words, they had a little more room to spread out, but they didn't waste your time. But with the 30, yeah, it's 30 minutes an episode, I guess.
Yeah,
they have to keep that.
It's
shit
an
moving.
hour.
Oh, is it an hour?
It's an hour show. Of course, they've got room for commercials in there, but yeah, it's an hour show.
Okay, they've got to keep that stuff moving along, and they do it. So that's another one. And of course, Rachel's in the chat room. She's still hung up on Stranger Things. That's old news.
See, I've devoted a lot of quarantine to really old things. I went back and watched a bunch of old 80s horror movies that I hadn't seen. So I'm trying to get caught up so I understand what everybody's talking about when people come to Scarefest.
I do a lot of... I'm worse than that. I will watch... Like I said, I watch the hot shows, but when it comes to movies anymore... Now, sometimes, if Netflix premieres something, they had a really good action movie that they premiered just like last week. It wasn't good enough for me to remember the name, obviously. French people were breaking into a bank. Someone in the chat room can help me out on that. But I've gotten so lazy that I don't even try to watch movies anymore unless we have someone in it booked as a guest.
Now, if you start reading the books, I
don't even mean to Scarefest. I mean, I don't watch it unless they're coming on this show. So that's how lackadaisical I've gotten about movies. Jake, bringing you back into the conversation. If let's move away from series. We've talked a lot about series, and we're in perfect agreement almost.
I know. That is definitely a sign of the apocalypse.
Well, it's the end of the world makes strange bedfellows. What have you watched any good movies lately you can recommend?
Have I?
I don't know, because mostly what I see out of you is someone else will post that they're watching some movie and they go, "Oh my God, I love this," and Jake will go on and just rain on the parade and tell them everything that was wrong with the movie, And that's why I'd say Jake hates everything.
I can't really say if it's been a while. I haven't seen anything new lately, and I think the last new horror flick I saw was Happy Death Day, maybe, or no, Happy Death Day 2. But yeah, I haven't. I've been boring. I've been doing nothing but work. I'm on my 7th month of mandatory overtime. So yeah.
Mandatory overtime? Don't they know that half the country is unemployed right now?
Well, all I know is that this is my 7th month of mandatory overtime, so it's literally been home work. So that's all I can say.
Quick opinion, Jake. Have you seen? I know you haven't watched it, but have you seen the ads for Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous?
I saw a still of it on Netflix when I loaded it up last, but I have no desire to watch it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like your type. It doesn't sound like your type of show.
I like the fact that, I just don't invest in TV shows after Game of Thrones. I haven't seen a TV show end properly since Breaking Bad. So it's very rare that I ever invest in a TV show nowadays. However, I will say CREEPSHOW on Shudder is pretty damn good. I'm really interested in the animated episode they got lined up next month.
I will have to check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have Shudder, and I'm like the only person on this show that does not just live on watching Shudder, apparently.
I just subscribe.
You should at least watch CREEPSHOW. I know that I preach the gospel of Joe Bob in his show, but you definitely should at least check out the first 2 episodes of CREEPSHOW. It is phenomenal. I love it.
See, I haven't checked. I'm not even sure I can get. I'll have to check and make sure that there's 2 different ways you sign up for Shudder. Now, if you get the regular account, then yeah, you get Joe Bob and all that. But I haven't went back and checked when he did his like Halloween special last year. I couldn't watch
Which he hasn't. You couldn't.
No, because I have it through Prime, or as an add-on to to Prime Video. And they give you all the movies, but they're apparently not set up for or at the time they weren't set up for the.
You can't watch it live on Amazon Prime. You have to watch it through the website itself for the streaming app in order to watch it live.
There, I did not imagine that. I was correct. Quick commercial break, everybody. We'll be back with a few more minutes of Scarefest television.
Everyone is talking about CBD oil, and it seems like almost everyone is using it. The research is ongoing, but the apparent health benefits are overwhelming. If you're going to use CBD products, though, what brand should you buy? First, find out where the hemp was grown. Imports are flooding the market. How potent is it? Look for a brand that plainly states its concentration on the label. And look for full spectrum CBD. This means the oil contains CBD and all the other cannabinoids, terpenes, and nutrients that are found in the entire cannabis plant. Look for Blue Leaf CBD oil. Blue Leaf Naturals is a Kentucky proud company. They use only Kentucky-grown hemp, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses. Visit their website at blueleafcbd.com now and use the code SMILE at checkout for free shipping.
When the drum beats, we hear the call of spirit. Join Coyote Chris Sutton and Charla Hardin as they discuss the different spiritual paths with those who walk them. Monthly on ScarefestRadio.com. Watch the Scarefest Facebook page for updates.
And welcome back to Scarefest TV. We've got a few more minutes to spend with you this lovely Friday evening. Now, I do another reminder. Of course, I mentioned Wicked World. Another thing coming up. Central Kentucky Mystical Market coming up, scheduled for the 17th and 18th. It's at the Clarion Inn North here in the area in Lexington. Readers, vendors, all kinds of good stuff. And if you even remotely like me, I will be celebrating Halloween there because I will be going in full tomb attendant regalia.
It's not the bunny costume I picked out for you?
No, the bunny costume is... First of all, no, I'm not the one you picked out. I have a bunny costume. He will be making his appearance at Easter because nothing says Easter like screwing up little children in an Easter bunny outfit with a hook because one of his hands is missing and he's going to be a pirate. Because
nothing says Halloween like the one I picked out for you. That'd scare the hell out of me.
What, did you get a Playboy bunny outfit for him? Because that would put me in a vegetative state.
You don't think I could pull off a Playboy bunny?
I hope you would pull it off because I don't want to see you in it.
I've never tried that, but now I've talked about this on the show before. The most fun I think I've probably ever had at Halloween was when I went to a party and I dressed. I'm not going to say I dressed as a woman because that would have involved me not having a beard on or, no. But I did have a red dress and a wig and I rocked it.
Matching purse and shoes.
Yes, yes, the shoes and purse had to match.
Everything was red.
I bet that looked good with that mullet you had. You look good from the back, didn't you?
Was that pre-mullet or post-mullet? I don't know if that... I probably had the mullet at that time.
Mullet, but you had a blonde wig, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. But I had a blonde wig, so the hair was long regardless. And I just want to say I had more fun doing. So I could see me doing Playboy bunny costume. I could see on a really alcohol enhanced evening. I could see me doing that.
Next year's Halloween party. You go.
And by the way, to all of the listeners, I just want to say thank you. You're welcome for allowing me to have that mental image implanted in your heads now. If I must suffer, you must suffer.
Now, while we're on the topic of Chad, I guess you're having to cancel your Halloween festivities this year. I've not that's my only Halloween plan so far is that we were talking tonight though. Now something that I never do, I do not, despite having a garage full of Halloween decorations, I rarely decorate for Halloween or for Christmas for that matter. It's not that I don't enjoy the decorating part. I hate tearing that crap down. So most of the time I just leave it in the garage and say that way I don't have to fool with it. I am thinking about decorating this year.
I usually decorate that morning and then tear it down that evening because if you leave it out, somebody will vandalize it. So
yeah, in your case, steal it because you've got really nice stuff. I've got like shitty little yard signs and I got a couple cool jack-o'-lanterns.
But yeah, I'll spend, especially with it on the weekend this year, I will spend that morning putting a full graveyard and animatronics all around my yard and smoke machines getting ready for the trick-or-treaters. So I can't wait.
I do have that. I have somewhere in our attic, I have a life-size Frankenstein. Now, that being said, he's not lifelike in any semblance of the word. He's like if you wanted a 7-foot tall stuffed doll. That's Raggedy Ann doll, that kind of shit. But I need to pull him out of the rats have probably ate him by now. But I've got to find I've got a ceramic skull that I got to find for my tomb attendant costume. And I'm because God forbid I'd go to the Dollar Tree and spend $1 and get another one. Jake, now how are you celebrating Halloween?
I'm going to be at work. But the week before, I will be at the Clarion in Lexington.
Yes, in an unofficial, unsanctioned Scarefest reunion, if you want to call it that. In other words, we had to cancel the convention, but the fans, they just couldn't see it happening.
I'll throw my own con in my room. I'll have panels. The first ever 4-day panel. I'll sell some Funko Pops for vendors. I'll have some T-shirts. You can have photo ops with Mini C. I just got him some a new outfit, face mask and gloves for his tentacles. You think I'm kidding?
Cute. No, I don't think you're kidding at all.
Think about who we normally talk to. I mean, that's par for the course.
Well, that and I'll put it this way: I have seen most of the people that I know. I have seen without their children more often than I've seen Jake Godbold without Mini Cthulhu. Just saying.
Well, what can I say? I guess it's all in the love. I guess. I don't know.
Well,
what kind of candy are you? Oh, go ahead.
What? No, what's that? What kind of candy?
I was going to say, what kind of candy are you going to be setting up the trick or treaters with? The good shit, or just a bunch of Smarties?
For the record, Smarties to me are the good shit. I love Smarties. I literally, when we buy for trick or treaters, and we don't have a lot of trick or treaters out here.
Two.
Usually two.
I have 2 kids that come to see me, and I give good candy, and I give bunch of candy.
So what
I'll be there this year.
We shop for candy for ourselves, and that way, whatever is left over at the end of the evening, we've got candy.
I give out Mary Janes because to me that's the scariest part of Halloween.
Somebody
you give out
today
Mary
on
Jane?
Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of weed, but okay, whatever. I mean, go ahead.
The old-fashioned version of Mary Jane's. He's
I
too
don't know
young
what it
to
is
know.
either, Jake.
It's the little orange and black peanut butter candies.
Never heard of it.
No, if you're going to give away peanut butter candy, you give away Reese's Minis. That's the only peanut butter candy. Because you're not talking about little swirly shit, are you?
Yeah, the ones that in the orange and black wrapping paper.
Oh,
those are called
God,
Mary Janes.
You cheap son of a bitch.
Yeah,
those are
more trick-or-treaters than that.
except for candy corn. That is like the fruitcake of Halloween.
Hey, it's either that or roll of pennies. I remember getting rolls of pennies all the time.
We had a neighbor where I grew up. That's what he gave me. He'd throw like 15 cents in your bag and say, "Go away." Somebody on Facebook, there's a meme going around dissing nerds. Those little rock candy, basically they're slightly flavored sugar.
Yeah, they're right up there with now laters in my book. They're great.
Oh, I love them, and I mean they're a diabetic coma waiting to happen. But yeah, we go to the dollar store and buy the big variety packs, Milk Duds, those.
And I have 2 trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, we have
2.
We'll spend like $40 on candy and have 2 trick-or-treaters.
I usually am on my 3rd batch of candy by the time the trick-or-treaters actually show up.
I don't get trick-or-treaters.
The restraining order kind of dictates that, doesn't it, Jake?
No. Give one kid a razor blade apple, and then they take it personally.
Yeah. They put you on that list.
Which one? There's so many I'm on already.
Yeah, you've proven that. They're like, damn it, I lost my train of thought. I actually had something pertinent.
Which time?
Okay, now Chad. Now I'm going to assume that between the three of us, you're the more safety conscious of the three of us.
Oh, that's scary.
As far as COVID-19 goes.
I have no disregard. I have a disregard for myself and others. So yeah, I'll buy that.
Okay.
My list of my ex-girlfriends is proof of that. Anyway.
Chad, how do you feel about the, now of course Lexington is having trick-or-treating. They've just said small groups. Where was it? But a lot of towns have canceled it.
Yeah.
Because apparently there, well, I mean, I guess it's a legitimate fear that
if you can take a bag of food out of the McDonald's drive-thru,
well, they're afraid they're afraid you're gonna sneeze in the Hershey's bag, I guess. But anyway,
or you're violating the 6-foot rule, I guess.
Yeah. Now, are you gonna put one of those pipes down your sidewalk and like blow gun it into the bag?
You know, that was my initial plan, but I figured out earlier today that I've got a paintball gun and I can get some jawbreakers in there, and I can deliver it from a distance. No, I might do actually something like I saw a video online that somebody had put like a zip line down, and it had a ghost on it that on each side held a piece of candy, and on the back held a drink holder, so you could send beers down to the parents. So I may build something like that.
Now that's the kind of thing I see coming out of you after seeing your Halloween extravaganza. I can see you doing that.
It's either that or I may invest in a drone. Same idea though.
And the drone is a gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. We've just had a little bit of fun tonight, talking about what we're doing in our downtime. Jake, thanks for calling in, and I'll be in touch with you because we're doing that in November.
All right.
Good to talk to you, Jake.
Don't get so excited. Don't get so excited. So before we go, just right here in public, before we go, would you rather do it where you pick movies that you like that you think I'll hate, or would you rather pick movies you hate that you fear that I might like?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should do both and see how it works out.
We'll see, but if he doesn't give me a heads up, it's going to be a whole nother The Boys thing where we both just come on gushing about the show.
We'll work something out. Don't worry.
We got to have some controversy. Okay, everybody. Chad, thanks for sitting in tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Good to speak to you again, because in this world of limited human contact, I don't get to see my friends.
I hear you all got good candy for Halloween, so I'll be there soon.
Absolutely.
And let us know when you. Everybody, that's another thing going on. Cynthiana Ghost Walk is going on. They have a website. Well, go to rossoperahouse.com and and starts 1st of October, and it is a great ghost walk. And
Ross Opera House is already having a bunch of movies too for Halloween.
Yeah, I shared that today on Facebook.
I saw that.
The Lost Boys. They've got that like the 23rd, 24th, right around there. Lost Boys. The head.
Beetlejuice.
Screw it. Beetlejuice is the same weekend as Mystical Market, so I'll probably be tied up. I can't get excited about that. But yeah, they've really, as far as old movies go, they've really.
You can't get excited about being tied up.
No, not at my age. The bursitis kicks in and gets ugly. And everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. I hope you will. We'll try to get something on the rails here in a week or two. Here's something to think about, everybody. Upcoming weeks, I'm going to devote an episode to your favorite ghost stories. You'll have 10 minutes to call in, tell us your ghost story. We'll try to get 4 callers in for the whole show. Might even go long if we have a lot of people interested in doing it. But I want to hear your ghost story. Not this paranormal investigator bullshit like I talk about all the time. No, I want to hear your ghost story.
I can't wait.
Thanks for watching.